don't be scared to start over. You might like your new start better. These are such basic things, but they're just so commonsensical.
I think it's so cool because it feels like it's a motto, your tagline, and the mantra can change, right? Your mantra today may not be your mantra tomorrow. It's like a gratitude list. It doesn't have to be a static situation that, oh, that's my mantra and every day is my mantra. If it's something that's
Can evolve.
evocative and that you feel connected to, I think those are the best mantras.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Girls Gone Gritty. We are at Bring It On Studios. I'm with my girls, and it is Thursday, very close to our big fun weekend with lots of plans. And what are you guys doing, by the way, for your weekends?
Well, school's out for summer. It's on. Summer is here and it's going full send into 50 activities, nonstop action, parties, Sunday fun days, surfing, bikinis. Can't wait. So exciting. And driving my caddy everywhere I go.
I'll be in a 14-person sprinter heading up to Vermont with a whole crew of girls wanting to jump off of anything that they can jump off and get wet into.
Love that.
I just think it's my trip to Australia that I'm just gearing up for, and it's coming so fast.
It is.
And
It's
it's going to
almost
be
here.
here before we know it. And I keep going through what I need to pack and a little bit that's messing me up. And this trip is a little bit complicated because in Australia, when we're going to be there, it's going to be wintry-ish, not warm. And then, thank you, Lord, we're going to Bali and that will be warm. So I feel like I have to really be smart on my packing.
I hate packing. I feel like I'm getting worse at packing as I get older because I'm indecisive or I've packed for everybody else and I'm just spent by that moment.
I pack way too much
Way too
because I'll throw in an inflatable paddleboard when I go on.
have too much than
Anyways.
too little.
I'm going to a wedding, so I'll be in South Carolina, and literally I'm bringing an inflatable paddleboard and fishing rods
I'm
for
married
like
to you.
for
I'm
like
married to you.
a 4-day wedding.
Yeah, toys. More and more toys.
I think this time of year is so fun because the kids are psyched, they're out of school, and there's always a good energy of what we're doing and a thought process. And you don't have to have this looming situation with school. So you're able to really hone in on what you believe in, which we'll get to in a little bit.
Okay, Jen, give us our top 3 today.
So our top 3, drum roll, please. San Diego allows classes to return to downward facing dog, citing freedom of speech.
I think it's crazy that people weren't allowed to do yoga on the beach anyways. Guess you have to organize things if you're an instructor to get permission to do anything in a park, but a beach.
And especially in California, visitors, residents, they flock to the beaches. They flock to the rivers. They flock anywhere they can. And if you can go stretch it out and do yoga, that's because it's all about living well in California and eating well and being one with yourself. The fact that they wouldn't let people do yoga outside, it's a travesty. Well, now they fought it and it's back on.
They wanted to get paid. Yeah, but you're outside. And if
It's-
you're getting permission and you go through the formalities of getting permission, I'm sure there's a fee attached.
Everything has to do with the monetization of the activity. I love that they upheld this, citing freedom of speech, because you shouldn't have to have a building or a structure or something to commune and do something together like yoga. And but it'll be interesting though is
this
like
is outside of
the
beach. It's up on
latitude that will be taken on other things. Because now what happens if I want to go and I play
I'm a naked
pickleball
person and I
or-
want to be an exhibitionist with my
freedom of speech?
Well, you go to Black's Beach and you go way south on Black's Beach, and that's the naked beach.
Oh,
My
there.
favorite wave in the world.
Anyway, our number 2 is not naked, but Walt would not be happy becoming, like the Hall of Presidents, an animated feature for the Walt Disney Resorts.
Some things are better left alone. Good old Walt. I like him greeting us in movies and saying goodbye. And I like to think of him that way, turning him into a 3D sci-fi animatronic character. I don't know how I'd feel about that. Say it right.
His granddaughter.
His granddaughter is horrified, said he would absolutely hate that. And you have to respect his wishes. Not that he was wishing to have a statue, animatronic one, or however you say it, but come on, let people's vision just have a memory of a picture. Or it's creepy how lifelike people can be that are robots now. So just leave it alone.
Yeah, we're moving into a crazy place in AI, and we're
Leave it
going to
alone.
tackle this topic again. We
And
did
again
do
and
it with
again and
Chat
again.
GBT at one point, but we're going to tackle it again because it is moving really fast. Number 1 of our top 3 this week, the oldest, now it's 200 years old, condom is being showcased in a new sex exhibit in Amsterdam. And yeah, it's still erect.
I don't even, I have such a weird visual. In Amsterdam, anything goes. And it's obviously in honor of the red light district.
Is was it made with the caliber 3X or the children Magnum? What do you think? Like, what skin was it?
It was a sheep's appendix, according to the article. And in their national museum, they have an installation for safe sex and a playful prophylactic. We'll have a picture on this on our site too, of a nun and 3 clergymen on it. And the words in French written, "This is my choice," as a nod to Renoir.
Yeah,
They
there's
were
not
100 years ago still.
So
So
at least they were using them.
that's
Let's
great.
be real.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know that they had condoms back.
they're not using them very wisely. They're blowing them up. You're not using them the correct way.
They're not balloons.
Everything's wrong with that. I'm throwing my paper out the window. Next. What are we talking about today?
We're excited to talk to you about something that helps me every day. And for those of you listening, especially when the world gets a little bit challenging and confusing, which it really is a lot these days, having a mantra, having something that is a guiding light in your life, something that you can hold on to, that's simple, can just ground you, is what we're going to cover. I'm really excited because the people that do it well, they really live
It's like
in a different way.
manifesting. Mantras are, I'm going to read you the definition of what a mantra is in case you don't know the actual, but it is originally in Hinduism or Buddhism, and it's a word or a sound that's repeated to aid concentration and meditation, gathering of words. It can be a lot of words, but it's something that you say over and over to yourself, almost in a way so you hear it, smell it, and you see it, and you're being reminded of it over and over and over, and hopefully it becomes exactly what you're saying.
Well, and it's positive self-talk is the other piece of it that I think that makes it so resonant and transcendent, because if you don't believe it yourself, if you can't reaffirm it to yourself, how are you going to be that person in life? Right. So I think that's the one thing that I love about going through what our different mantras can be. And I know personally, I'm not good at it all the time. Sometimes the negative self-talk, I could have been a better mom. I could have been a better wife. I wasn't a good friend. I didn't think about doing something. And I do think that having the mantras allow you to give yourself some space, that you're human and that I need to remind myself of the good that's within me.
Positive affirmations is repeated nonstop. If you say it enough, one of my favorites is Norman Vincent Peale's, "You can if you think you can." And that's one that I've lived by forever. When I broke my leg, I was racing and X Games had come and went to the Kirkwood finals, and I broke my tibia plateau. And whatever happened, I'm back in the game, and it was always this roller coaster. I'd come back and I'd do PT, and then come fall, I would gear up for ski season. But after I got hurt, I said in my head, I'm going to get better because the X Games were coming up. And through my entire recovery, as I say, for every single one of my injuries and through my recovery, is always in my head, you can if you think you can. You can if you think you can. And he also has the power of now, speaking in the positive. But as far as you can if you think you can, I had the X Games visually in my mind. And those words, I just manifested it to death, that I got to the X Games. And normal people, given the severity of my tibia plateau fracture, would have had to retire. Thanks to the power of now, I did it. But you can if you think you can. And
Sure, that's the little
Little engine that could.
Yeah.
Mantras can take over. You can go in different subject areas depending on your phase you are. If you need like uplifting mantras because you're blue, there's those. If you need, I can do anything I put my mind to mantras because you want to overcome. There's so many different directions. There's thousands of mantras, and not one is better than the other. I'll tell you one that I do love, and it's not because I'm in a gloomy, doomy place. This too shall pass. I think it's something that we all have to remember when we're in a place where it just stinks and it just seems like nothing good is coming around the corner. But like this too shall pass. Today is a day, tomorrow is another day. The sun will rise again. These are things that should be ingrained in us so that when it's happening, we can remind ourselves of the positive mantras that exist.
And it's so true. If you tune into our episode last week, our song of the week was Stevie Wonder's Master Blaster, which is one of my favorite songs. And it's, if you're moving into the positive, the destination is the brightest star. So tune into last week's episode.
2
and
weeks
hear
ago.
it, and you'll tune into our song of the day, Stevie Wonder's Master Blaster. The words resonate with you, and it's into the positive. The destination is the brightest star, and I hang on those words. So I think everyone has theirs for sports.
I am enough.
Yeah.
I am enough. They're so simple. I am worthy. I am whole. I am in control. I am healing gently. This go on and on. You can make your own up. It really, you can make them personal to exactly what you are. Like, I am always hungry.
Well, it starts with I am, and then you can add I am great. I am strong. I am happy. So
All is well.
all is well, but you could put your own positive
Be the change.
Yeah.
Be the good.
thinking.
It's simple. It's almost like 3 words, but it really can be long.
Could be anything you want
It
to
could be anything. But
Well, it reminds me of when I got my yoga certification with Baron Baptiste, and it was still when he was doing all of his certifications. So you got time with him personally. And he does this exercise that if you have a group of people that need some grounding, I would say, like with your friends, try this out. So he sat us all in a circle and he turned the lights out and we wrote on a piece of paper. He said, you're sitting in a very safe place. Imagine your mother or someone that you loved, a grandmother, rubbing your back and they're telling you something. And you feel so warm and comfortable because this person loves you so much. And he didn't give us any idea of what that could be. And he said, okay, now take that feeling, whatever it is, and write it on a piece of paper. And it was such an emotional thing to write it on a piece of paper. And then he said, okay, now tear that piece of paper out. Immediately, you're like, wait a minute, what? I'm tearing this out. I just wrote down something so intimate and personal. Tear that piece of paper out, hold it up, and pass it over to your neighbor 3 down. So in the circle, you pass it 3 down. And then your piece of paper, he said, now pass it 5 over. So basically he was like switching it up so you couldn't really know where your piece of paper landed. And then you read now somebody else's mantra and they said, okay, now you have it. And then each of us stood up one at a time and we whispered into each person's ear around the circle what was given to us. So I had am enough. That was what was given to me. And I went around to every single person and said, I am enough. That's all I said. And they received that. And then the next person, let's say they had, I am beautiful. And it went around and that was said to everybody. So it reaffirmed all these beautiful things. And then we left and we weren't allowed to say a word. We had to just sit in that space. I would say if you do it with your family, I did it with my kids years ago. I need to do it again. It's such a beautiful exercise to figure out what that mantra could be and to put yourself in that safe place and share it. So that's a fun little thing that it was reminded when we were talking about the mantras that could be a cool exercise for you at home.
I like it.
I like it a lot.
It was just making me think of what my mom would be saying to me, rubbing my back, and she was a great back scratcher.
I
She-
love
what's that?
scratch.
I'm just thinking. I just think that she thought I could do anything I put my mind to.
And you can.
What
And
she
you
would
can
say.
and you do. Girl, no one ever said no to you. You never. You succeed in anything that you do.
Well, I don't know. Keep looking for Girls Gone Gritty by Barstools, okay? For
Yeah.
mega bucks.
Yeah.
I just am putting it out there.
Yeah, but you got to throw it out to the universe. And that's the whole thing. It's positive affirmations are a boost to your self-esteem. It reduces stress. It improves your well-being and it just makes you feel good. And it's the power of positive thinking. And that's one of the that I've always done is I try to focus on the now and not what if or what happened and don't relive negativity because negativity feeds itself. And that's something that you really have to try to go through and push through in all situations.
How about this? You're getting close. That's why it's getting tough.
Yeah.
Isn't that true? Whenever you're in the bottom of the race, the back end, you're just about to hit the finish line. It's hot. You're sucking wind and you're huffing and puffing. And that's true across the board. I found some clever ones.
Yeah, but that goes along with if you ain't first, you last.
That's actually very true as well.
Just
because-
keep swimming though. Just keep swimming because Darian loves that one too.
Place is first loser.
See, now these are mantras that the Boyle family lives by.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely true. And you do not want to be the second loser. So ever. So you definitely
Broke my ski in one of the X Games, literally. And in the finals, around the turn, people are flying off of the course and I got second and called my family. What's up, first loser? And it's haunted me.
Wow. I'll tell you what, don't be scared to start over. You might like your new start better. These are such basic things, but they're just so I'm insensical.
I think it's so cool because it feels like it's a motto, your tagline, and the mantra can change, right? Your mantra today may not be your mantra tomorrow. It's like a gratitude list. It doesn't have to be a static situation that, oh, that's my mantra and every day is my mantra. If it's something that's
Can evolve.
evocative and that you feel connected to, I think those are the best mantras. My dad had his own slogan mantra that I was ahead of his time. He was a teacher. And on his wall was his own quote. He wrote, "No man may be what his mind cannot."
No man may be what his mind cannot. It's true. If you can't think you can do it, you can't do it.
Yeah, it starts here.
That's fantastic.
It starts here. One other one I love that we talk about all the time, and that's the other part about mantras that I love. You can interpret them however you want, is you've got to believe to receive. Now, people use that a lot at Christmas time, but I believe that in everything.
I believe it in everything.
And that's because I believe it's always in you and it doesn't matter. However you interpret it, it's personal. And I think that's the other part about mantras that I love. I don't have to tell you what my mantra.
How about you can't heal in the same environment that got you sick? Pretty powerful, right? Or sometimes your value isn't seen until your absence is felt. You are what you do, not what you say you'll do.
Just like
Actions
you are what
speak-
you eat.
Actions speak louder than words. We'll
And
go
this
back
one-
to our episode from last week too.
This I love. Becoming the best version of yourself comes with a lot of goodbyes. And it's true. Sometimes you have to say no to things that you love, and you have to say bye to people that aren't good for you, or you have to make decisions that are hard and you have to be disciplined and dedicated. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not
Sacri-
easy
it's
to
sacrifices.
become the best.
Right.
If it was so easy to be the best version of ourselves, we'd all be our best.
But it also depends on what you're looking to do with it. Are you looking for a sporting goal, a life goal? Are you looking for a life mantra to live by day to day? I write in my journal. I've said it before, at night when I have a good thought, or if I just am trying to figure out my goals for the year, I'd write in a journal, and that's a great place to start, is just write your thoughts. Like Farley said, I am, I believe, I want. I am is always the best, because you don't want I want, because then you're like, I want. But you manifest
can,
it.
I
can. Oh, I
create, I
can.
have.
It was I can. Yeah,
Trust.
I can do it, because they never say I want to try to do it. It's you have to say I can be the best. I can, because it makes you actually succeed.
There
How
is
about-
no try.
On this note, any lesson you refuse to learn will repeat itself until you do. How true is that?
It's so true, because you get stuck in a hamster wheel, and the
Make
definition
same mistakes.
the definition of insanity is doing the same thing day to day and not advancing. And that's why as soon as you move that goalpost a little bit and change the trajectory of your path, you're making changes.
Wait for the perfect winds, never sail.
Got to always go out. I wait for the hurricane.
I
House
don't
myself.
that too. It's so weird. He says you can't adjust the wind. You have to adjust your sails.
Fantastic. He's spot on. He's right. Sometimes you have to go with the flow.
Yeah.
And so these are the mantras can be short. Mantras can be a couple sentences like I'm reading to you now, but it makes you think. It evokes the thought. It makes you recognize I can make a choice and I can do something differently and get a different outcome. And I think that that's what we're trying to teach everybody here today that might not wake up and have a mantra that's in their brain. I sent my daughter out with a mantra today because she was taking a test, and I taped on her mirror. I was gone before she woke up. Because of your discipline and dedication, you deserve to feel confident about the test you're taking today. She really came home from college and has been studying 6 and 7 hours every single day for finance, and she didn't graduate with a finance degree, but because she was determined, she did not want to fail. She applied herself. I just wanted to stoke that flame in her before she went, because she really did deserve to pass it based on all the effort and dedication she gave.
You almost have taken the fail to prepare to fail and flipped it, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Because I love that quote.
Yeah.
It's trying to motivate you to do the right thing,
Right.
but it does have a little bit of a negative slant. The other thing that I realized about mantras is, and I used the yoga reference earlier, that mantras have really gotten a lot of steam because of the
Help journey is
self-help,
Self-help.
and yoga and meditation becoming more mainstream. That's only happened in the last 25 years. Yoga's been around for a long time, but
I used to think the yoga incense burning people were weird
lots
because
of
I
people
didn't
do.
understand it.
But
Stretch it out.
rooted in Hinduism and Buddhism, which we referenced earlier, and that's part of the repetition and the deliberate nature of it. What I will say, and for those of you that are with me on this journey, coming back to Christianity and going to church and whatever religion that you are, that's a beautiful thing about repeating the word of the Lord in whatever script it's in, whether you're a Muslim, you're reading the Quran, or you're reading the
Committing it
Bible,
to your memory.
and it becoming a part of what you truly believe in. And I think that is an amazing thing that we can all take away from a mantra, is that it's your relationship with yourself and something bigger than you.
The Pledge of Allegiance. We all were raised saying that, and you're pledging to do something, and it's meaningful. So basically, at school, saying the Pledge of Allegiance every day when it was allowed was.
But still, they still do.
I hope so.
They do.
Well, a lot of schools don't. It got taken away, but I know Dee Dee does it, and
does it. Nate does it.
I know there's some schools that definitely were no, it wasn't for everybody.
It wasn't for everybody, but
think about that. That's a different type of mantra. You know, these kids are saying something that they might not quite understand yet, but you hope that they're going to become that in their adulthood. You know, they're going to pledge allegiance to the flag because they're going to be patriotic and they're really going to care about being American. Now, does a third grader know that they're really proud to be an American when they're pledging to the flag and they're looking at the flag? I think they like the flag. I think that they know that they're from America. But as you say it over and over and over and over, you listen to what you're saying and you become proud. I think of Vietnam. I think of the vets. I think of the lives that were sacrificed. I think of the freedoms that we have. And that Pledge of Allegiance has become a mantra that I am very proud of in my heart. Okay, let's do it.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And meanwhile, we're stars and USA
didn't plan
without
that.
even knowing it.
well, I have Kiss on, but I'm staring at the flag that is next to
Yes.
the studio over the bar.
That's
No,
a
that's-
great mantra to leave everybody.
Yeah.
with here.
I love it.
And we're in this time of year, we're going to be coming up to the 4th of July and all good things. So
Memorial Day just passed, so get your
Get your
American
mantra.
pride.
Yeah,
and
well,
be-
we love that.
be
And
proud of exactly what you believe in and stand up for it. And don't be afraid to have a conversation about it and go deep with the people that you love and ask them what their mantra is. Ask them
Great.
what they need to do and ask them maybe if they remember the Pledge of Allegiance. I think I know the preamble to the Constitution.
Also somebody that now sings like at every baseball game and every game.
those are my favorite. When I worked
Right.
for Fox Sports, that national anthem
I sing
was
it
my
every-
favorite time of each game, because every event you went to, you had the most amazing singer, whether it was a little up to opera singers to other pro athletes or
an
or-
anthem is a mantra.
right.
Absolutely.
So you'd hear these national anthem and just people's pride of standing there, hand on their heart, hat off. It's so respectful. And I love that.
I have an
So-
exercise for everybody. Why don't at dinner tonight or the next time that you're sitting in a group of people, have everybody write 5 mantras that they want to live by, that they choose to live by, or that they would to impress upon somebody else that needs a mantra.
Yeah. And maybe sit in a circle and reaffirm your mantras to other people and share a communal moment with the people that you
I'll need
love.
to write them down.
Yeah. It's great. It's
Okay.
amazing. All right. Well, I
We
think
got a guy
Grid-
person over here that is dying to be reviewed.
Getting jiggy with it.
Who is our got grit person that definitely is loaded up with mantras?
Well, anytime you're out in the elements, you have to have something you believe in. Anytime I have not taken off my St. Christopher, it's around my neck. St. Christopher is the protector of travel and has saved my life many, many a times. So if anyone out there saw the movie Soul Surfer, Bethany Hamilton, professional surfer known for her resilience, and she has so many mantras. So years ago, it's October 2003, Bethany Hamilton was surfing in Kauai. I was there the day before surfing this spot, and her arm got bitten off by a tiger shark. Now, in most cases, people would never, ever get back in the water because that's your worst nightmare as a surfer, looking down and seeing your arm being taken off by a giant tiger shark. Well, she has so much love and passion for surfing. She wanted to be a pro her entire life, and her arm gets bitten off. 26 days later, she is out there surfing and she's figuring out other ways, like you to adapt. She pushes off when you watch her paddle. She kind of pushes off with her one part of her arm. She figured out a way to do it. And
Incredible.
she's just incredible. She's a role model for all the women out there and all the girls. It's like admiration. And that is called following your heart. One of her most prominent mantras is, I don't need easy. I just need possible. She also emphasizes the importance of never giving up and staying persistent in the face of challenges.
That's all of it.
Additionally,
Great.
she encourages adapting to life's circumstances and incorporating chaos into daily routines. And that's something that you really have to do, is you have to overcome, you have to adapt. With all my injuries that I've had, and I've had a lot of them, I've always figured out a way to adapt. It helps your mind. It feeds your soul. If I had a broken leg and had a giant cast, I needed exercise, I would go kayaking.
There should be a movie on Darian, not just her breaking her neck, but like we really should have a movie, because I would watch that movie and I would cry. Like I said in our episode last week, Soul Surfer was one of the movies that would have been on our list. But when I was sitting in the airplane watching these movies about these people that just have grit and have overcome adversity and whatever, and have gone on to be the best of the best, I was crying, I was laughing, I was clapping. And the woman that was sitting next to me was just like, wow. And I'm like, this is a great movie. But Bethany is everybody's hero in my family.
And one thing out there is, don't ever let anything keep you down. You figure out a way to adapt. If you get hurt, use another body part. Keep your body moving, keep your mental health going. You need exercise to feed the soul.
Don't
you
be afraid to
can,
ask for help.
Norman Vincent
Yes.
Peale. Get the book. You can if you think you can. And the power of positive thinking, ladies. And now, what is our song of the week? Something that's going to pump us up.
I'd like to sing it, but I'll spare you. I'm going to start with the lyric, and I hope it just clicks in your brain. I've paid my dues time after time. I've done my sentence, but committed no crime. And bad mistakes, I've made a few. I've had my share of sand kicked in my face, but I've come through. We are the champions, my friend. Anybody that does not know that song, you need to know that
Oh my
song.
God. If you don't know that song, please reach out to us because I need to meet you.
A fabulous movie, by the way. The movie all
Oh.
about Queen was
That
like
was- that was
spectacular.
crazy
He was incredible. So yes, it's We Are the Champions.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
That's another true story. It
So-
might not be athletically oriented, but he did survive a lot of.
Oh my
love all
God.
the mo-
the
I love all the
adversity that
movies.
Let's be honest. The musicians run in similar paths
Yes.
as athletes.
Bob Marley's movie.
Hello.
One of my
I saw that on the
favorites.
plane
Great.
too.
I see it all the time.
It's amazing.
And there's two different versions of it.
Okay, now we're going to movies. Rocket Man, Elton John.
Yes.
Fabulous.
Another fabulous,
Lynn. You have the Who. I got them.
Dylan movie.
Amy Winehouse.
Yes.
That was.
You saw the Bob Dylan movie?
Yeah. It's good.
See it.
And you just love.
I think you can see that. on the
Maybe we
airplane.
should talk about music movies one day. in the
yeah.
future.
Okay, that's
That's
good.
good. Music.
All
That just
right.
made us very happy.
Well, next week we're going to talk about something critically important that doesn't have anything to do with music or movies.
What's
But
Sleep.
it's
How
how
important
you
it is.
set time rituals. How well do we sleep at night?
Sleeping is everything. And we are going to share our tips with you because we are good sleepers. I get a little anxiety when people aren't well in my family, but beyond that, I can sleep sitting up in 2 seconds. So join us next week.
And hopefully we haven't put you to sleep on this episode. And thank you so much for tuning in to Girls Gone Gritty. Listen to us next week and enjoy the super sun of summer. Peace out.
out.